Hey guys, I hope you guys are having a great day today. Today we are going to do a little single shadow declutter. If you watched my makeup inventory video, you'll know that I have way too many single eyeshadows and I just don't need like all 22, 23 of them. So today we are going to go through and swatch all of them, see which ones are still good and which ones are bad, and declutter them as we go. So if you are into this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already, and let's just hop into it. Okay, so I put down the sheet to protect my workspace from any sort of funny business going on. You can see I have quite a few. I have 22 single shadow products, which seems very excessive for the amount that I use them. So I'm gonna go through and swatch everything, and then we'll go through and kind of decide which ones we want to declutter and which ones I want to keep. Let's start off with the stick shadows first, because I feel like those are probably the easiest to swatch. So I'm going to put these over here. This one is the Hourglass Voyeur eyeshadow stick. I actually just got this, so I don't think I'm going to declutter it, but I figured I could swatch it for you guys anyway. It's this really pretty champagne color. This is in the shade Moon, I believe. You can see it just has like a really shimmery effect. There's no visible glitters in that. It's really just like a shimmery top coat. And when I use this on my actual eyes, it's very subtle. This next product is from ColourPop. This is the ColourPop color sticks in the shade The Palace. It's like a really deep burgundy. I took a pause and turned up the brightness so you can see the colors a little bit better. This one I think I am going to declutter because it is really stiff. It's not creamy like some of the other eyeshadow sticks I have. So I think this one is going to be a declutter. This is another eyeshadow stick. This is from e.l.f. This is the No Budge Matte Shadow Stick. This one is in the shade Cool Beans. This one is much more creamy than the ColourPop one, but this isn't a color that I reach for often. It honestly looks like a little bit too green in person, and I feel like it just doesn't suit the vibes very well. I mainly bought this to be like a brown eyeliner, but I just don't use it that way, so I am also going to declutter this one. This next one is from Bobbi Brown. This is their dual-ended longwear eyeshadow cream eyeshadow stick. This has two different colors on it. So this one side is matte. It's called Nude Beach, which is this pretty plum-ish shade, like a nude pink. And the other side is called Pink Mercury. And this color is so pretty on the eyes. It has like a duochrome shift. So this one shifts kind of blue-pink, and I really like that. And I don't think I've used these two together, but the Pink Mercury side on its own is so pretty. So this one is going to be a keep. It's really convenient for traveling too, because it's two products in one. And the last eyeshadow stick I have here is from Laura Mercier. This is a mini of the Caviar eyeshadow stick in the shade Au Naturel. And this color is just a really pretty neutral shade. I sometimes use this as an eyeshadow base, but I don't reach for it a ton. I am going to keep it because it is a color that I can use as an eyeshadow base, and I actually have a use for this, so I'm going to keep this one. Okay, we're going to go in with the liquid ones next. So I have 7 liquid eyeshadows, which kind of seems like a lot. This first one is the Kosas reformulated 10-second eyeshadow in the shade Heat. So this one looks pretty. It's pretty as an everyday eyeshadow, but I don't reach for it that often, and it just doesn't compare to the old version of the Kosas 10-second eyeshadows. So if you do like just a wash of color all over your eyes, you might like this. I just personally can't stop comparing it to the old Kosas 10-second eyeshadow, and so I am going to declutter this one. Speaking of, this is the old formulation of the Kosas 10-second eyeshadow in the shade Globe. This shadow is absolutely stunning. Mine is pretty old at this point, but this one just has such a beautiful like metallic sheen to it. It's way more reflective than the newer formulation. This undertone is also more really like neutral rather than a pink, and so I love this. This is definitely a keep. It is getting old though, so I am gonna try and make more of an effort to use this, because I mean, it might not have already gone bad, but it doesn't smell bad, so I'm gonna keep using that. But I definitely want to make sure I get usage out of this, because I did love it for a very long time. This next one is the e.l.f. Glitter Liquid Eyeshadow. This is in the shade Flirty Birdie. This one is more of like a glitter topper. And while I do think it's pretty, I think the glitter in it can be very patchy. Like you can see on the top here, all the glitter is like gathered there, whereas the rest of my swatch, it's not there, you know? So I think I have other glitter toppers that I like more than this one, so I am gonna declutter this e.l.f. one. This next one is the NYX Ultimate Glow Shots. This is in the shade Mango Moment. I first picked this up because I thought it would be kind of a similar vibe as the Kosas 10-second eyeshadow, the old version that I loved so much. And while I do think it's similar, I don't think it's exactly the same. It doesn't have the same magic. I am going to declutter this. I like the formula. I think it's a good formula. I just bought it to replace Globe, and it just hasn't done that. So I'm going to declutter this. The next shadow I have here is the Smashbox Always On Cream Eyeshadow. This is in the shade Barista. I don't love this, honestly. It's not something that I usually reach for, and I don't love this color either. It's a little bit too much of like a burnt brown, if that makes sense. I just don't reach for it, and so I'm going to declutter it. I did also get this at the cosmetic company outlet, and because of that, I feel like the formula is also like a little bit older. Okay, I have some residual glitter left over on my hand, but that is a-okay. The next eyeshadow is the Danessa Myricks Twin Flames eyeshadow. This is in the shade Crazy For You. This is a definite keep. I love this. Look at that reflection. It's a duochrome like blue-green shadow, and I love this as like a pop of color on my inner corner. It's honestly stunning. Definite keep. So these two are from ColourPop. These are their Jelly Much eyeshadows. This is from the Hocus Pocus collection specifically. This one is in the shade I Am Calm, which I will swatch for you. So that's the shade I Am Calm. It does have a little bit of chunky glitter in there. I'm not sure if you can tell. And this one is in the shade Come to Play, and this is like this really pretty purple shade. So I think I'm gonna keep Come to Play, but this first one, I Am Calm, is a little bit dried out, and it reminds me too much of the Danessa Myricks. Like the shift it has reminds me a lot of the Danessa Myricks Twin Flames eyeshadow, so I think I'm just gonna keep the purple one and declutter the white one. Let's do the Makeup by Mario topper next. This one is a definite keep. I love this as a kind of just like an everyday shadow. It doesn't have a ton of base pigment to it, but it has these really fine micro glitters in it that just makes for a really beautiful eyeshadow topper. So I am going to keep this one. This next eyeshadow is from M Cosmetics. This is the Cosmic Pearl Dewy eyeshadow in the shade Moonrise. This one is stunning. This is a definite keep. The one thing I will say about this is that it can crease on me, and I don't even have like a lot of creases. I mean, I have like little baby lids, but they're mostly monolids, and this creased in them. So definitely need to wear like an eyeshadow primer with this. That shift is stunning though, so that is a definite keep. These next two are from ColourPop. I have the shades Fine Pearl, and I have the shade Ritz. This is Ritz. This is supposed to be an Urban Decay Space Cowboy dupe. This is such a pretty eyeshadow, such a pretty topper shade, so I am gonna keep this one. And it's also just such a classic. I love the way this looks. It has just a lot of really fine glitters, and it's stunning. And Fine Pearl is not as glittery. This one's more of a shimmery shade, but the pigment in this one is different. So ColourPop Ritz has a little bit more of like a tan base with silver glitters, whereas Fine Pearl is more of a sheer base with gold glitters. So I am going to keep both of them. I think they're both stunning, and they're also super affordable. So these next three are all from Phytosurgeons. My most used is probably Fractal Freesia. This is also just a really pretty topper shade. So as you can see here, it's just a really pretty topper shade. I love this all over the lids as a one and done eyeshadow. So Phytosurgeons Fractal Freesia, definitely a keep. This is Wild Oak. This one is a little bit more pigmented in terms of base pigment, and it's not as glittery. This one's much more of a satin in my opinion. So I honestly don't use Wild Oak as much as Fractal Freesia, so I think I am going to declutter this. I love the formula of these. I just don't reach for this shade very often, and so I feel like I can find a better home for it. And this last one is Oxidized Olive. I just don't have anything else in my collection like this. I don't reach for it a ton, but it is very pretty. And you know, like I said, I really don't have anything in my collection like it, so I am gonna keep it. And these last two are kind of like miscellaneous brands. So this one is the Auric Smoke Reflect in the shade Defiance. So this is a cream and powder eyeshadow. So the base is this really pretty like bronze creamy color. It has a bit of a sheen to it, but it's this really stunning brown bronze. And then this top part is actually a glitter topper, and the point of this is that you can wear either the cream or the topper or put them on top of each other. And so if you put it on top, you get this even more stunning like shimmery topper effect. It's beautiful. I'm keeping it. I don't reach for the cream part a ton, but I do love the powder like glitter topper. And this last one is from Victoria Beckham. This is the Lid Luster in the shade Chiffon. This texture is quite spongy, honestly, and it is stunning. I love this eyeshadow. It is so pretty. It is such a pretty topper shade. I love wearing this just on the lid on its own, and this in the sunlight is absolutely beautiful. It is so pretty. It's just a keep. I'm keeping it. So these are the eyeshadows that I'm keeping. I'm keeping 14 of them, and I'm getting rid of 8. So I think this is a lot more manageable. I think 14 is way more manageable than 22. I am glad that this is where my collection is at. I think this is a good representative of the shadows that I reach for and use a lot. So I'm very happy with this. If you guys liked this type of video, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already. I am planning on doing an eyeshadow like swatch party within the next couple months. Stay tuned for that if you like this kind of video and just seeing what I have in my collection. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next one.